Yeah, Maslow had this laws of hierarchy where he talked about all the things we need once to achieve self-actualization. I'm not going to go through all those things, but you know, shelter, food, clothing, so on and so forth, up into our emotional needs. What I'm going to assume is that we have all our basic needs realized. And the thing that I have found important, I read a book called The Language Instinct. And what it talked about in there was the idea that speaking in our verb tense, our noun-verb connections is actually something that's instinctual. And it talked about how people were put together in situations where they could not communicate with one another, but they figured out that one of the first things they started trying to do was how do we communicate? And one of the things I gathered from this book, one of the things that I've infused in myself from this book, is that there's a basic need in all of us to connect with one another. And I don't care who you are or what you're doing or what you've done, even from the hermit who sees a person that he hasn't seen a human being in a long, long time, he automatically wants to communicate with them in some way, to a child, to an adult, to each and every one of us. For me, the most important thing that we're trying to achieve is some kind of connection, some kind of way of sharing who we are and gathering who that other person is, and trying to, and of course it's a fruitless exercise at the end. I don't mean fruitless, but that we can't truly know one another. There's no way to read a mind, there's no way to know all of our thoughts, and frankly we don't want to, right? You know, you do not want to know all of my thoughts, and trust me, I do not want to know all of yours. But what I do want to know is I want to find some way of connecting to each and every one of you, and I want you to find some way of connecting with me, and I think that's what we need as much as anything else, is we need to find some way of connecting, and we do that by asking questions, by listening to that other person. And to me, that's what we need beyond all the things that Robert mentioned, is we need to find a way of connecting to one another.